Welcome back to my frequency. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I remember this one time where I had a hard time when I was doing hair because I didn't want to stop doing hair because that was the thing. Like, I knew if I posted something in regards to hair that I would get the likes and all the response that I wanted. And when I did hair, I felt like I had this abundance of friends, right? Because so many people would call, I would have people scheduling, and then I would have those same clients like doing favors or just calling me for different opportunities. So I really loved the craft of doing it, and I really loved, having those friendships that came along with offering that service, right? And then also just getting those interactions on my social media. But when I stopped, and I had to really ask myself, like, at some point I was getting burnout, I was getting tired, and I just had to really ask myself, like, at this point, am I doing it just because I like the validation, I like the interactions with those people, knowing that my body was tired and my spirit had moved past that point in my life, but I was still doing it because I liked the validation of, that whole process, whether it was a response that I would get from a friend or a client, or just that feeling of, having a friendship, or those amount of likes that I would get off of a hair post. So I really had to tell myself, like, okay, I can't worry about if somebody is validating me because I like the feeling, or I like the feeling on social media. Like, the most important thing is, how do I feel? Like, how does my body and my spirit feel with this decision that I'm making? Confidence is such a quiet thing, and I had to realize, like, I didn't have to perform for anybody. If this is where I am at this point, I can be confident in who I am. I can step out and be like, you know what, I'm okay with me. I don't have to perform for anybody, and I don't have to do a certain thing because somebody else likes it. When you're desperate, like, people can feel that energy. And when I was like desperate for things, anytime that I'm desperate for something and I just like really want it, it never comes, and people can feel that. The more calm that I am, or I'm not as worried about something, the more that it comes to me, or the more that it'll come to you, whatever it is that you want. Like, when you're calmer, you attract more of the things that you want. Attention is something that's temporary. So while you're doing something that somebody else like, they'll give you that attention, or while you have something else going on, they'll validate you. But at some point it stops, especially if it's just what makes them happy and it's not something that makes you happy. I learned that I had to get to a point where I had to stop forcing connections and just let it be natural. Like, let people choose what it is that they want, because they're gonna know anyway. Like, they're gonna sense that, they're gonna feel it, and yet it may last for a certain amount of time, like you're doing this thing because you notice that people like it, but it's not gonna last that long if it's not something that's natural, that is authentically you. And I had to realize that, like, if it's not something that's authentically me, something that I want or that I'm working towards, and like I could genuinely see myself doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna last long. You don't want to force connections. It's like, you want those connections to be genuine, to be natural, and you want it to feel like it's that person's choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're doing something that you don't normally do, and then all of a sudden they're like, attracted to you or want to be your friend, it's going to be hard to keep up that type appearance, or those actions. Being authentic is so attractive, and like, just fully being yourself is like the most attractive thing that you could be. Like, you ever seen somebody and it just seems like they're really odd, or they're different in what they do, right? But they're so attractive, or it could be sexy, or it could be just, like, pulling you towards their energy, because they're just authentically being themselves. And I find that when I'm authentically myself, that's what attract people. Like, it used to be a time where I wanted to have all the pretty weave, like, what I saw. I wanted to have the blonde hair, and I wanted to have, the pink hair, or whatever beautiful hairstyles that I saw people doing at that time. But what I find is, when I wear my own hair, or my hair is up in a big afro, or my hair is just naturally how my hair is, like right now it's just down, I find that when I'm most authentically myself, that's when I attract the most energy. And people are, they stop me and they're like, wow, that's nice, or that's beautiful, or whatever. Or people may compliment you on your outfits. Maybe you're a stylish person. They may stop you and be like, oh, I like your outfit, or I like your shoes, or I like that. So just naturally be yourself and be okay being in your own lane. You don't have to shape shift, right? Shape shifting is where you shift in the moment. So like, maybe you go in one room, and then it's like, okay, I gotta shift, and I gotta be this other person to fit into this room or this space, or I gotta fit and be this other person, you know, to fit into this type of environment. But no, I realized that I didn't have to do that anymore. You know, I think sometimes, and that's why you got to check in with those childhood wounds, because I was in a situation where I had to shift a lot so that I could be in a home or I could be somewhere grounded. But as I got older, I had to talk to myself, because those same things that worked in childhood, it did not work out for me as I got older. So I didn't have to shift or move around to be somebody that I authentically wasn't to fit into a certain environment. So don't shapeshift, you know what I'm saying? Like that'll be the reason you are enough, and you'll be exactly the reason why somebody choose you for an opportunity, or ask you, you know, to participate in a certain project, or just ask you to, you know, just come be a part of it, or to be in that room because of who you are authentically. But if you're shape shifting and being, you know, other places and a whole nother person, then you could miss out on that opportunity, because that person is not getting the real version of who you actually are. You will become really attractive if you raise your standards and stop accepting crumbs. Okay, Catch Doll have this song that I love where she is talking about not accepting crumbs. Y'all might know the name of the song. If you know it, drop it down below. But I had to tell myself that, you know, and it was really hard for me in my first time doing that. You know, I was on this job, and this guy wasn't exactly paying me the way that he was supposed to be paying me. And when it came that moment to this was for like a side job, right? But when it came that moment for me to tell him, like, listen, you're not doing the right thing by me. And for so long I had been used to accepting the crumbs because it was an opportunity. But it's like, no, it's an opportunity for someone to experience you, to experience your presence, to experience your energy. So you don't have to accept crumbs from somebody. And the more that you stop accepting it, you'll be in a better off position. When I'm in that space where I have that inner peace, I notice that it just changed things, right? And it attracts people. Just to be around someone who is peaceful, and it seems like they're just okay, you know, in who they are, where they are, it just attracts you to them. And you want to be that type of person where it's like you have that peaceful aura around you, so it attracts those type of people to you, and it attracts those type of opportunities. Confidence comes from honesty. It makes you more authentic. What makes you more sexy, more outgoing, is just to be authentic, just being yourself. People are drawn to certainty, to self-love. And if you think about yourself, like, what are some of the things that you're drawn to? You're drawn to people that are confident. You're drawn to people that, you know, love themselves, and you can visibly see that, right? So just, you know, keep those things in mind. Like, some of the things becoming the most sexiest person is just being confident, is just being aware, is being authentic and being yourself, because you are enough. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are, you know, we all have our angles, and you have to tap into that, find out what it is for you, and be confident in that. Walk in that space and be like, this is me, and whether you like it or not, this is going to be me. And you'll find your crowd of people. Okay? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, love, peace, and blessings.